Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're going to talk about Ready to Love Season 8 Episode 2 in Dallas, and it's called It's Getting Thought in Here. Alright, so if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, join the family, like the video, leave your comments so I know what you think about this episode, and tell a friend to tell a friend that Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom is reviewing Ready to Love. Okay? All right, so let's get started. So we picked back up from last week's episode. We were left with a cliffhanger to see which man was going home. Was it going to be Brandon or Habibi? Well, it turned out it was Brandon. Brandon said he wasn't surprised he was going home because he's fresh off a divorce. He's got 4 kids and the ladies feel he's not ready. But you know what? That's true. I mean, even though he's been married and divorced to the same person twice, there's only been a 6-month time frame in which he said he's been separated. So that is a red flag in itself. All right, so now it's the next day. Tommy has set up a brunch for the men and the ladies. Tequila said that she felt a little bit down from the mixer before, but today she feels good, her energy is up, and she's ready to mingle and to get to know more of the men. And today, Quentin also says that walking into the brunch, the main person he was looking for was Janelle. And Janelle already seemed like she had the attention of a lot of the men already. So now as Tommy also walks into the brunch, he's telling the singles to please trust the process. To find love won't be easy, but you know what? If you put your best foot forward, it may work out for you. You might find something long term. Tommy also said that the ladies had the power this week and one man will be going home at the end of the process. So as the singles mingle and the brunches continue, Marvin, the erotic author, is sitting down getting to know the ladies. He's asking, well, a few of them asking, so what does it mean that you have a sex dungeon? Like, what does all that entail? So he explains he's got paddles, he's got whips. He said he's very confident in what he does. You women are a little apprehensive about Marvin because what he does in the bedroom and with the chains, the whips, the paddles, all this might be a little bit too far out their league, but you know, they're trying to get to know Marvin anyways and give him the benefit of the doubt. So I'm not sure if Marvin's gonna have a connection based off of what he does. Like, can he separate what he does for a living versus intimate wise? But again, you know, that sex dungeon is throwing a lot of women off. Okay, so when we see Habibi, Red, and Tequila, Habibi says Tequila's energy reminds him of his own energy. He says that it's strong, but at the same time, he doesn't feel like he's necessarily a match with the other ladies, so he's ready to get into this brunch to see maybe if he can make a connection with somebody. So when Habibi sits down, he talks with Sierra. He asks her, so what was your last relationship? And what was your last relationship like, and what did you do to mess it up? And I'm like, what do you mean, what did she do? How come it wasn't mutual, or you know, you just grew apart or whatever? But that's part of Habibi's personality. He comes off a little strong. Now Sierra's looking at him like, what did you say to me? But she answers it anyways. But in confessional, she says, you know, she could see Habibi's energy, his intentions, where it's going, but she could also see that he's like a jokey kind of way. So she didn't take it as serious right away like when he was talking to her. But see, that changes as we get towards the end of the episode. Then Habibi explains, oh, you know, I was just being facetious. No, you were being yourself, but you know, all right. But Sierra says, you know what? I could be a damn fool if I need to be. So the conversation comes across like she wants to try to get him more, but with Habibi, he's a little hard to read. So he just comes off very abrasive in the beginning. So you're not sure if he's being jokey, like he says his personality is, or if he's being sarcastic. Next, we move to Red and Unique. He intentionally seeks her out because at the mixer, there was a conversation that they had about Red's job. He's a DJ and he's a comedian on the side. And Unique said, "Oh, so you have a thought job?" And he's like, "What do you mean a thought job?" So he took that to heart. He's like, "I don't have a thought job." He can't help it that women, throw themselves at him, whether he be DJing or as a comedian. But in confessional, Red says, "You know what? I'm here to match energy with energy." He didn't appreciate what she said, so his energy to energy, I think he meant like, if she's gonna disrespect me, yeah, expect it back. So again, he asked Unique, "So why did you feel it was necessary to tell me I have a thought job, when in fact the work that you do in TV and film, your job could be thought of as a thought too?" She goes, "No, it's not the same, and I'm not a thought." And so Red says, "So because I do that, I have to be a thought?" Unique said, "No, that's not what I'm saying." Now in confessional, Unique says, "Little old Red got upset because I said that his job was a thought job, and I apologized and everything, but he's coming at me, so I don't know what it is." But you know what? When she was saying all that in confessional, the dripping of sarcasm, listen, it didn't even sound like it was genuine. But she said she apologized. It's not what you say, is how you say it. Well, the conversation started the same way it began, nowhere. He sat with his drink while she got up and walked away. The next day, there's a few group dates that are set up. The first up was Tequila. She set up a group date with a few people she said she wanted to get to know. First, she invited Habibi, Red, Phil, Kiara, and Janelle. Now, at the place they were at, it looks like you could play different types of games. So everyone is there on time except Janelle. She comes walking in a few minutes later. And so as soon as she sits down, the first question was, "So Janelle, who are you attracted to?" I'm like, can she say hello first, put her purse down, and just get situated? And not just that, Tequila was saying to Phil, "So I have a bone to pick with you. How come you weren't attracted to me at the mixer?" I'm like, why would you ask him, why weren't you attracted to me at the mixer? If someone's not attracted to you, they're not attracted to you. But maybe Tequila thought that maybe he didn't get a chance to know her well enough because she was in the bottom two. And then Phil told her, "Well, one of the conversations we had, the topic of sex came up, and I felt like that was a little bit too soon, so that was a turnoff." So, I can't blame him for that. So when the ladies asked Habibi who he was or wasn't feeling, Janelle jumped in and was like, "Yeah, who do you like?" Now in confessional, before we even hear Habibi's answer, she said that Habibi said something to her off camera at the mixer that she didn't like, and from that point forward she had zero respect for Habibi and was not even trying to get to know him. So then Habibi suggested, "Oh, why don't we just get up and play the games or whatever?" So then it was Red and Kiara who were on the same team for football, and it was Janelle and Phil. So as Red and Kiara walked to the other end, Red and Kiara are having small talk and conversation. Then Kiara gives Red a hug, and Janelle yells, "Don't get too close to that little girl." I was like, oh no, indeed. To that little girl, who are you talking to? Now see, Kiara didn't say anything, but you could tell in her eyes, the way she looked at Red, I can't believe she said that. And Janelle, for real, last week, she was being Miss America, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" Being the mix and mingle Miss America, here I am, look at my energy. Clearly that was her representative, because now the real Janelle has showed up. So I guess Habibi and Tequila decided they weren't going to play football, so they're off to the side talking. And Tequila's asking Habibi different things about his work life. Since he's a musician, he travels around, asking him how do you maintain relationships when you're always on the road? Now Habibi said that he finds him a lady in every city. And he says he is a cheater. He admitted to it. And so Tequila said, "Well, you know what? I like your energy, but, why do you feel like you have to do that?" And Habibi said, "Well, because my girlfriend wasn't doing whatever she needed to do with my eggplant." I was like, for real? Yes, listen, there is a thing of being honest and upfront and transparent, but there's also a thing of being honest, transparent, upfront, and have a little bit of decorum about yourself. Everyone don't need to hear the first thing that comes to your mouth. This show is supposed to be for people who are grown and ready to love, not someone who just act or making it seem like, in my opinion, like you just here for a fling, because that's exactly what it gives from Habibi in this conversation and another, as we see as the show goes along. Now, as far as the date, well, that's over. We didn't really see the other two couples doing anything as far as, you know, playing the football or playing any other games and stuff like that. But what we do see is Kiera and Phil leaving a little bit earlier, and then Red and Janelle sit down and talk for a little bit. But when they get up to leave, Janelle said, I just want you to know that her bag was fake and mine is real. I'm like, all that extra shade was so unnecessary. So now it's the second group date, and Aries is hosting at her house. She invites Jessica, Sierra, Clinton, Chris, and Herbert. Aries says it's a good group because she feels like this group that she invited has good energy, and she also says, that there are possible connections in the group. So first we see Sierra and Marvin hang out and talk. She talks about, do you believe in sex before marriage? Because she goes, oh, I feel like you have an erotic spirit. Marvin says, oh, you think I do? So that means you think about me sexually. She goes, well, no, I just think your spirit, the energy I'm given. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to tell somebody that they have a sexual erotic spirit, I'm with Marvin on this one. So you've been thinking about me, or you have this energy and maybe you're thinking about it in general. Now, in confessional, Sierra says that she has the energy and she's not opposed to sex before marriage, but she's been on a year-long journey of celibacy. And then when we see Marvin in confessional, he says he doesn't, not necessarily disagree with that, but he'll have to see how it goes. He's not opposed to it, but he's not necessarily cool with it. So he's like in the middle. Like, so if he was in a relationship with Sierra, like he's not sure which way he would go. So then we see Chris sitting down with Jessica. One of the conversations that come up is Jessica says, so I heard about you possibly having an arranged marriage. So Chris says that in his culture, marriages are arranged. He said his mother and father were arranged. His brother was arranged, and he even was set up to be having an arranged marriage. He said even his family in Africa has sent him photos of even twins. It's like, so which one of these do you like to get married? He goes, nope. He goes, I don't want to follow tradition. He goes, I want to be with someone who I'm attracted to, who I love, and that's the right one for me. So, that's one of the reasons why he's on this show. Jessica feels like she has a connection with Chris. She said she feels that their connection was even deeper because he opened up more to her, so she's doing the same. All right, then we have Aries and Quentin. So there seems to be a little spark going on here, especially from Aries. Now, they're sitting on the sofa. She's got her arm on his arm, and she's rubbing it back and forth, and they're looking at each other in their eyes. Quentin in confessional seems like there's a little bit of concern because there's a 10-year age gap, and he's not sure if maybe Aries would be down to date someone that's 10 years younger. But then too, since it was Clinton saying this, maybe he's not necessarily cool being with someone 10 years older. Now, Aries has an attraction to Quentin. I think the attraction is bigger than his is to her. I think there might be some type of issue that might come into play with the age difference if they do have a connection. Okay, so when we move to the individual dates, first up is Sierra. She's meeting with Habibi. She says she invited him out to get to know him more. Habibi says Sierra's outfit is fire. Everything is like a 10 out of 10. Habibi also says he's very judgmental. He says if a woman comes to a date and her nails aren't done, there's gonna be a problem. So then Habibi asks Sierra, does she like him more than the other guys? Sierra says, so Habibi goes, well, it's a yes or a no. Now, Habibi is being a little pushy, but I thought he was being a little pushy in the group date and had moved on to this date as well. It's not giving for Habibi, in my opinion, like he's either not comfortable or maybe knows how to talk to a woman in a deeper level to get to know them versus the musician side of him who goes from city to city and in his own words says finds a woman to take care of his needs. So I think there's a conflict here with Habibi and who he wants to be and the person that he still is. So as they're talking, Habibi's asking Sierra like, oh, are you mixed? And Other little questions. Sierra says, no, she's not mixed. She's Creole. And then she gets to talking about growing up and how eating crawfish and different things like that. And so Habibi goes, oh, yeah, I like crawfish. So when Sierra says, yeah, when I was little, my mom used to like pick the crawfish and she would have like 10 picked to my one. And so Habibi goes, ooh, your mama ain't boop. Sierra said, excuse me? You could hear like, picture tires like, skirt. That's how fast the conversation stopped. In confessional, Sarah goes, you know what? Nobody talks about my mama. Nobody talks about Miss Linda about nothing. And honestly, the date was over when Habibi said that. Even though he was trying to say he was joking, nope. Now, on the second individual date, we have Lee and Quentin. Lee said she wants to get to know Quentin more because she usually doesn't date someone that's in the same profession as her, which is fitness and health, and he's fitness and bodybuilder, personal trainer. Now, when Quentin comes in, okay, how come Lee and Quentin's outfit look like they called each other and be like, what you wearing today? They were matchy, and not on purpose. But in confessional, Quentin said that he already feels a spark. He said he feels like they have so many things in common. It was a match made in heaven. Now, when they're talking about relationships, from the past and going forward and building a bond, Clinton seemed like he was really into Lee and what everything she had to say. He even told her that, based on how she takes care of her body, how she views fitness, he knows if they were in a relationship that she would take good care of him. So then it got to a point where the food came. He fed her a piece of food off his fork. He's like, oh, maybe I should get a kiss too. Lee's like, not right now. You're moving a little bit too fast for my taste. So yeah, right now it seems like the connection is mutual. So after the dates, the ladies meet up with Tommy in the lounge to talk about who they're feeling, who their top men are, and who the bottom men are not. The men whose name come up the most often in the top are Herbert, Phil, and Quentin. In the bottom though, Quentin's name also comes up. Now, there is a conversation room by Kiera who says that she got the feeling that Quentin prefers Caucasian women versus anyone that's here. And then we see a clip by production. Tequila is walking with Clinton saying, oh, so are you attracted to anybody here? And Quentin says, oh, no, I'm not. I don't feel like I have a connection with anybody here. A couple of ladies said, yeah, they felt that way too. But then at the same time, they're like, with all this melanin up in here, he's got to be attracted to one of us, okay? And then Lee said, well, I'm the most chocolate one in here, and we had a really good date. And then we also have Habibi, Red, and Marvin also at the bottom. Now, Janelle finally said what it was that Habibi said he wanted to do to her. And she said that he wanted to touch and caress all over her breasts. And she goes, I'm not cool with that. And then nephew Tommy was like, what? He said that, the disrespect. He said, the next time someone comes with disrespect, don't hold that, let me know. And then Tequila said, what are you talking about? Tequila said, that's not how it goes. You don't got no tops or something like that. And then Janelle said, well, they didn't say that to you. Matter of fact, they don't even like you, meaning the men, because she was on the bottom last week. And that right there sets it off. Tequila jumps up, pretty much, who you talking to? I'm not about that life. You got the right one today. And Janelle says, what? You talking to me? And then she was like, Tequila says, oh, you standing up? You standing up? So security's got to separate both the ladies. They walked off Tequila. Tequila looked at another lady and was like, you can get it too. And so as she's walking away, she goes, if Habibi's eliminated, you might as well eliminate me too. Then a short while after, Tommy comes back with the ladies. Even Tequila's back in the room. Janelle's in the room too. Well, Janelle never left the room, but Tequila's back. And Tommy's asking for, listen, we're all here. It needs to be about a respect issue. And then they carry on with the elimination of who they wanted at the bottom. Okay. And so also, like I mentioned, it was Red and Habibi. Now, Marvin was thrown in there too based off his sexual preferences, and a lot of the women weren't feeling that, but he didn't make the bottom two. Now, after those theatrics, the men, Habibi and Red, go out on separate dates, And Habibi's a little bit nervous because he knows that the ladies have the power this week, so he's not really sure if this is an elimination or not. And then Red, he just thinks he's going on a date with a lady he hasn't been on a date before. And so as the ladies are talking about, what the ladies think about them so far and their personalities, the man who's eliminated is Habibi. So, all right, in confessional, Habibi said that, maybe he's a little too much for the ladies. Maybe he's a little bit too spicy. Maybe he's a little bit too jokey. But hey, he's going to keep his head held high and keep moving forward looking for love. So that was the end of the episode. All right, well, next week, Tommy is setting the singles up on their dates to mix things up to see if the singles can make more of a connection with maybe people they haven't made it with already, or maybe if the singles who are making a connection can build upon that. So we'll have to wait and see. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave your comments, and until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.